whose work in some way touched upon my own work. And so I talked to a few different scientists, and eventually I talked to Konstantinos Katsikopoulos. And Konstantinos and I had a really interesting, meandering conversation. And I thought after that conversation, we had more to talk about. And so then I had a space, and I had somebody, a scientist who did research in that space, who I thought I could talk with, and who the talk might influence the work in some way. And I didn't yet have a project. And so I thought about it for a little while, and then at some point I came up with an idea. And I asked Konstantinos if he would look at my work, and if he would choose a piece that in some way touched upon his work. And if you could find that piece, if you could write a text. And if he wrote a text, and he sent that to me, and that text in some way resonated with me, then I could write a text and make some work. And Konstantinos agreed. And so that's how this project came to be.
Not succeed in flying. But somehow it seemed appropriate. It seemed to me that it was a correct effort in a good way of using his time. So I wanted to point out that it was a way for me to see something about human behavior that I couldn't so easily see from academic papers, but I thought, that I learned something. This was a stimulus to actually be able to write this letter and show it to Joanne. And then I didn't know how she was going to react. I thought maybe she would be very bored, or maybe she would say, okay, this doesn't mean anything to me, but...
it's a really interesting thing, the nature of collaboration, because I, as an artist, I'm generally in complete control of what I do, and I make a decision. I have an internal dialogue going all the time, and I have lots of things that happen, and I choose what external influences I'm interested in weaving into the work. This fat man's decision of striking a chain of butterflies on his slumped back, etc. And I was really surprised at how, so I was reading it and I was really happy and interested and engaged, and then he said this thing about that, and obviously I chose a large man. But when he used this term, I felt instantly really defensive. And I had I thought, the fat man? But that fat man is me, he's you, he's everyone in here, he's humanness. And he's somebody clearly striving to move from one place to the next. He has committed some act that he thinks somehow will allow him a strength and a softness that will help him navigate the world.
Maybe not me as a person, but for the role I thought I would need to play here, I thought, yes, I would have to say a little bit how I would do it if I was doing science. So the point was to somehow be objective and say the facts about it. I took my role to be not to say how it made me feel. I could have said, okay, I like him, I feel sad for him, I'm happy for him, but I felt like that wasn't my goal. It certainly happens that you have these feelings, but I just thought in this case that wasn't